Well, good Monday morning, everyone. It's time to get going again. Are you ready to move forward and progress in our Christian faith right here on Inspiration for Today? And by His grace and with His mercy, that's exactly what I believe we're going to do this week. Now, let me give you some background on how I came to the decision of what we will study this week, okay? So, about a month ago, actually, at our what we now call our evening of food, fun, fellowship, and faith, I spoke, and one of the things I said was that I happened to mention that I am going to be challenged. I am challenging now my grandson. He has accepted this challenge that this year I gave him 12 months, but I think he might finish just during the summer. He's 16, sorry. But anyway, challenge him to read 5 books. And that when he finishes each one, then he and I'll go to breakfast or lunch and discuss that book. Well, after the meeting, some of you asked for that list of books, and I didn't have the list at the time. I kind of had them in my mind, but I couldn't just reel them off. And so I ended up going home and emailing that list to several people. Having said that, then it hit me that, you know what, it would be good for me to share here on Inspiration for Today. And so that's what we're going to do this week. The 5 books that have impacted my life in so many different ways. And obviously there's other books too. And the Bible is the #1 book by far. But I hope to believe that my grandson is already reading his Bible. And so we're gonna kind of have a countdown per se of the 5 books in the order leading up to what I believe is the most important, and the book that I would just do anything for anyone to read. I just think it's so very, very impactful. It's #1 on my list. But we're going to start with #5 on my list. And this is the only book of the 5 that doesn't exactly directly talk in terms of how you should live your life, okay? But it is a very unique book in that it talks about something that I'm amazed that most pastors never talk about, because I think they understand the scripture, and yet I don't know that I've ever heard a sermon on it. And that is, well, I'll give you the title of the book first, and that is All Things New by John Eldredge. All Things New by John Eldredge. What's that about? Well, it's talking about how at the end of time, Revelation chapter 21 to be specific, when eternity is set up, when we enter into heaven, where is that heaven? Where is heaven? That's why I put this up. Do you see heaven out there? Well, actually, that's a trick question. Because guess what? According to this book and John Eldredge, and pointing out key scriptures, the answer to that is yes, you do see heaven. Because heaven is going to be right here on earth. Isn't that something? And that's why I want him to read this book, because I find it so very encouraging. It won't be the earth like we see it right now. It will be a renewed earth with no sin. We have not spent 1 second of our life in a no sin environment. Everything around you and I has been tainted by sin. We don't even know in what ways. I think we're going to see more extremely bright, sharp colors, for instance. you say, well, I've never heard that before. So that's why you need to read the book. Or have your kids read the book and you then read it with them. Because it indirectly does change how we live. For instance, it's removed the must-do list for me. I don't have a bucket list of travel places I must go before I die, because I know that I'm going to get to go see them. I have a 1,000-year reign with Christ here. And then Revelation chapter 21. Can I just read that? There are so many scriptures. But even just Revelation chapter 21, I get you thinking. And maybe it'll whet your appetite to read this book. But it says, Revelation 21, this is right. Remember it? It's when the Apostle John sees, well, verse 2, 21, verse 2. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. So he gets to see the new Jerusalem, the heavenly Jerusalem, come down, what? Out of heaven, out of the heavens, or out of a different dimension, or however why he said, but come down to where? Down to earth. Why? And you read it, because from now on, the dwelling place of God will be with mankind. And where's mankind? On earth. And we'll have our heavenly bodies, no pain, no suffering. It's everything of Revelation 21. It'll be like everything is new. Here's some just translations from, here we go. I'm going to find my notes. Let me just read down from there. It's verse 5. And verse 5 says, he who is seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. That was Jesus saying, I'm making everything new. And then he says, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. See, he's renewing. It's a renewal. God doesn't waste creation, but he can refresh it and renew it. And every translation of that verse says the same thing. King James, I am making all things new. New American Standard Bible, behold, I'm making all things new. New Living Testament, look, I am making everything new. Look, I am making everything new, he says in the Message. And, he does not once, it never translated, I make all new things. We have in mind that God would make a whole brand new creation. That's kind of what we've heard and taught and believed. John Eldredge makes a strong case that it's all things new, not all new things. It's renewal. And that's exactly, by the way, what that word means. And I hope you'll get the book and read it. The word means renewal. When you prayed the Lord's Prayer, what do you pray? Thy kingdom come, your will be done. Where? On earth as it is in heaven. In other words, may heaven be right here on earth, and your prayer will be answered. It will be answered. I barely scratching the surface at all. All things new. John Eldredge will change your way of looking at heaven. I want my grandson to see it. That's book number 5. We're going to get to book number 4 tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.
Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give